Here we have Zig and Choppy from Jazzer's 4-inch Fortnite line. If you have any interest in this figure, please stick around because I've got some things to say and there's some things you need to know about this figure before just blindly going and finding it, because there may be some things you don't like. So first off, I've got Choppy here in the left, and I've referred to this as a back bling in the past, and it kind of is, but he's also a pet. And down here they've got this really cool little L-shaped clear pipe thing, and that allows you to plug him into the back bling, the whole of the back, so then Choppy floats like he does in game right there behind Zig. I think Choppy is well done. Come on, stand there, buddy. Stand, man. This is something we'll need to talk about. But anyway, I think Choppy is pretty well done for this little alien creature that's in a chair that kind of floats and I believe controls Zig to some degree, because in the game there's like this little pulse or ray, not ray, but little energy beam between the two. So I think Choppy controls Zig, but that's more for lore related things. Let's talk about Zig here. Okay, so generally speaking, he has the articulation of a typical 4-inch Jazzer's figure, except there's no head rotation. This head is built in to the upper torso. You cannot rotate the head at all. Okay, that's fine. And arms rotate, hinge just fine. Same with the elbows, except for there is extremely limited articulation. If you see how much it doesn't go straight and it doesn't bend all the way, so it's pretty limited in the elbows. The wrists rotate and hinge just fine, just like you'd expect. This is where we're gonna get into some dicey waters. There is a cut right here, typical. You can move him back and forth a little, very little bit. There's a rotation at the hinge, or at the rotation at the hinge, rotation at the waist. However, do you see that? He's not really going anywhere. Do you want to know why? That's because they have attached, and I know that they're making these figures like the skins in game, but they've attached this hose from the back all the way around to the waist area. And what that does is completely removes any possibility of this waist moving. Okay, so a little bit. You saw a little bit right there. That's about the extent. And also makes it difficult for this upper torso to move around. Can a little bit. That's why he only goes so far forward and so far back. This, it feels soft. This soft rubber hose is hindering the articulation in the chest, the torso area, in my opinion, quite a bit. If you want him to do the splits, well, he's got some armor pieces that on his legs that only allow him to do the splits that far. If you want to do the thigh rotations, again, there are these pieces of armor that stop how far around they can go. Now, I know people can't rotate their legs around like that. That's not a big deal. Hey, this is an alien. It's like a robot. He should be able to do whatever he darn well wants. If he wants to rotate his head all the way around, he should be able to do that. He can bend at the knee, I think pretty good. Now, there's something different here than we've seen with other Jazzwares Fortnite figures, and that is there's a rotation at the knee. I don't know if they meant to do this on purpose or if it's just a byproduct of the build here, because typically the legs peg in. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Typically they have double pin. So this is not a double pin. This is just a hinge in the upper leg that pins into that lower leg, which is allowing for rotation at the knee. This is something pretty new. We just looked at Jelly not long ago, and Jelly pins in from the lower leg to the upper leg, but it does not allow for a rotation there. So that's interesting fact in Jelly's video is talking about. Too bad there isn't a rotation there. You also get hinge. Let's do the side. The left side was pretty tight. You get a hinge at the ankle, and there is a pivot as well. There's no real rotation there, it's just that pivot and the hinge. The figure looks good, don't get me wrong. I like the look of this figure, and as much as I don't like this character in game, I never play Zig because I don't really like this skin in the game. I saw the figure in pictures online, and I was like, oh wow, he actually looks really cool, and he looks really well done. And as typical fashion, when something looks really good from something that I don't like in game, the pictures look really good, there's usually something wrong. There's usually something that's a little bit wrong. So knowing that information, you can decide, should you pick this figure up? I probably would not necessarily tell people to get this figure or not, although selfishly speaking, I would probably tell you to get it just so the sales numbers go up, so I could get the Mecha Glow version. I think the Mecha Glow skin of all the Zig skins, or all the Zig styles, looks the best. That's kind of where he's like black and's got like lava flowing and stuff, if I remember right. I think that's the Mecha Glow. But that's the one I like the most, so I'd like to have a repaint. With this figure, surely they will be repainting it in one of the styles, because this is all brand new parts. They've got to do something more with it. I just know they will. This little, just kind of a side note here, the Choppy can it can rotate on this, so you can actually have Choppy like facing backwards. If you can get this back in, there you go. You could have Choppy facing backwards, or to the side, or straight in front, however you want. Although now that I'm playing around with this figure a little bit more, I'm now understanding the problems with rotations at the knee. The figure tends to like want to rotate around while I'm holding it there. So, I still like extra little rotation, and it doesn't hurt the figure. This hurts the figure. Oh man, this really hurts the figure. You can't really get him into poses if you want to make him look like he's in game. And this, the no rotation at the head, I'm sure that engineering wise, they could have figured this out, but maybe that would have just added too much to it. I don't know. It's disappointing that this figure, the head doesn't rotate, because like, oh, and the very last thing I'll mention is standing. He is a little bit difficult to stand because he's got these slender legs. If you notice, I haven't actually made him stand much in this video. He's got very slender legs, he's very top heavy, so you're gonna have to find that nice, happy, perfect balance trying to get him to stand, and I probably won't be oh, there we go! Yeah, score, we got him to stand. Anyway, if you want to see all the Jazwares 4-inch Fortnite action figures between 2018 and 2020, check out the video to the right.